It is safe to say that this season is a handkerchief skirt season, and in today's tutorial I'll be teaching you how to cut and sew this handkerchief skirt with side pleats. And for this tutorial I use 4 yards of fabric to achieve this. Now let's get started. Now on your basic skirt pattern draft, you're going to mark down 5 inches at the hip side, mark down 5 inches, and then after marking the 5 inches down, we'll go to the hemline and we'll mark 3.5 inches. Okay, make a mark at 3.5 inches. This is to help us achieve the curve for the skirt, the handkerchief effect. This is what will help us to achieve it. Now on the hip line, I also went ahead to come out by 5 inches, although this is not so necessary. It's just for me to be able to get my curve. Now I'm going to connect it with a ruler from the hip line down. If you've not watched the tutorial for how to draft a basic skirt, I'm going to leave a link for you to do that. Now I'm going to go ahead to use a curved rule to connect the curve to the straight line that we drew. But as you can see, the ruler was not giving me what I wanted, so I went ahead to use my freehand to draw it out. Okay, feel free to use your freehand and be very patient here because this is the star of the show. Okay, so I'll go ahead and curve it with my freehand until I am satisfied with what I have. Please be very patient with this part of the tutorial. Okay, so after that, you can see what we have. I think I'm satisfied with this now. I went ahead to use the curved ruler to also connect the line because the line was looking too sharp there. So I went ahead to adjust it a bit, just a little bit, with my curved ruler to meet the straight line that we marked. Okay, so now that I'm satisfied, I'll use my marker to make it very visible for everybody to see. Okay, so I'm going to also use the straight ruler to draw it out. This is so that it is very visible for you to see, nothing more. Okay, I went ahead to cut it out because we've gotten the curve that we want. Cut it out. Okay, this is what we'll be working with. Now for this side that we cut out, I'll just measure it because we'll need the measurement for later. So it's 20 inches that we have here. So we'll need this measurement for later. So please keep it somewhere. Don't forget it. Okay, so after that, this is what we are working with. This is the base of the skirt. I'll be using this to cut both the front and the back of the skirt. Okay, we'll be using it to cut both the front and the back. So pay attention here. Now I went ahead to fold the fabric in two. This is what we'll be using for the front and the back. So we'll be cutting it together. Please pay attention to this part. I folded the fabric in two and I'm folding it in two again. So that means I folded the fabric in 4. And as you can see, I didn't allow it to get to the edge because of the zipper allowance. Okay. Now I'll go ahead and align the pattern paper like you see in the video. I went ahead to align it to the front of the skirt. Now remember that we are cutting the front and the back together. So make sure that the pattern paper is aligned to the front part. Okay, the side with no opening is the front part. And the other one at the back is the back of the skirt. Okay, that's the center back. So align this to the center front. Okay, so what you see there is I left 1 inch for the zipper allowance. So now I went ahead to align, and after aligning it, I also pinned it down. So please make sure that you pin your pattern paper to your fabric. Okay, please be very careful here. Pin your pattern paper to your fabric. After pinning it down, I went ahead to cut it out. Now pay attention to this. At the hemline, I left about 1 inch hem allowance. Okay, I left about 1 inch down. This is for your stitch allowance for the down part, so that when you're stitching it doesn't shorten the length of the fabric. Okay, so I left about 1 inch there, and on the curved part I also went ahead to leave about half of an inch. This is for our stitching allowance also, because this is where we'll be joining our gathers or pleats, whichever one you decide to use, but for this tutorial I used pleats instead. Now on the waistline, I went ahead to leave half of an inch for the stitching allowance too. For this tutorial, we'll not be using a band. For this style, there will be no band on it, so just go ahead to cut out the side. And I didn't leave any stitch allowance for the side because it was added to the pattern while cutting. So after that, this is what we have. I also went ahead to cut out the lining piece for it. I went out to cut out the lining piece off the camera. Now this is what we have for the front. The front piece is just one, and this is what we have for the two back pieces. Okay, this is what we have for the two back pieces. I also went ahead to do the same thing for the lining piece, both for the front and the back pieces, and this is what we have. I hope you understand what we are doing in this video. If you do not understand, please leave your questions in the comment section. Now I went ahead to align the Ankara piece and the lining. Okay, so align it very well, like you see me do. Front sides facing each other. Okay, align it front sides facing each other. Now we're going to go ahead and pin it down. Please make use of your pin so that everything is going to be aligned properly. While pinning, please make sure that the lining and the main fabric is aligned very well. Okay, after pinning it, this is what we have. Now we'll go ahead and stitch down the center back. Stitch down the places I'm pointing, the waistline and the hip. Okay, do not stitch down the curved part, just the waistline, the hip side and that of the zipper allowance. We'll go ahead and do the same thing for the front. Stitch the side, the waist only, the waist and the side. Please do not stitch around the curve. Okay, do not stitch around the curve, just the waist and the hips side. Okay, after stitching it down, I went ahead to turn it out, and this is what we have. As you can see, we didn't stitch the curved part, both for the front piece and the back piece. Now go ahead and align the front and the back piece together. You can see the way it is folded. Go ahead and fold yours. Make sure that it is very aligned. After that, place the front piece on the back piece. You are going to see that at the center back there, for the back piece, we still have about 3/4 of an inch left. That is for your zipper attachment. Please, while cutting your own, you can make it wider. I just left 1 inch there. So now from the waistline, we are going to mark down 10 inches. That is where our zipper will stop. And then from that 10 inches, we are going to be stitching down to the hem. So I'll go ahead and pin the sides that will be stitching down. As you can see, the front piece is still on the back piece. That is for us to know the allowance left for stitching down. So go ahead and do the same thing that I am doing. After pinning it down, this is what we have, and this is the part where we'll be attaching our zip. I went ahead to place the zip so that you understand what we are doing. Okay, I will cut off the remaining part of the zip, so if you have a short zip, better for you. So now I've come to the machine and I'm sewing it down. The part that we pinned, I'm sewing it down, okay? And this is where the zipper will stop, so I'll go ahead and attach my zipper. So for this, I'll be changing my foot, the machine foot, to a zipper foot. It's quite easier if you're using a zipper foot, okay? So now go ahead and attach your zip. It's very easy to do, especially if you have a zipper foot. Just lay it flat and then attach your zip. Now go ahead and attach your zip, stitch it down, okay? So when you get to that 10 inches point, you want to go above it a bit. After that, stitch down the other part. I went ahead to flip it and I'm stitching down the other part of the zip. As you can see, I also pin down the zip so that everything will be aligned. If not, one part of the zip might be longer than the other. So this is what we have after stitching it down. Please go ahead and give it a good press. Okay, press it so everything is aligned properly. Now we are going to be attaching the front to the back. Okay, we're going to be attaching the front to the back, and for this we're going to be stitching it down on the sides with 1 inch. Okay, with 1 inch stitch allowance, because I added 1 inch stitch allowance. So if you added 1.5, stitch it down with 1.5. Now I've finished stitching it. I've taken it to the machine and I'm done stitching. This is what we have. So the next thing for us to do is to attach the gathered or pleats. Okay, we'll be attaching our gathers or pleats. Now for the gathers or pleats, whichever one you're doing, for the pleats, we're going to bring back that piece that we removed before. Okay, we measured it and it was 20 inches, remember. Now I went ahead to cut another piece of fabric for the gathers. Okay, so this is what we have for the gathers. I went ahead to measure out another fabric, 20 inches. It's currently 21. By the time we attach it to the waist, it's going to be 20. So we have 20 inches length, and for the width, that's the round for the gathers, this is 74 inches. As you can see, this is 60, 1 foot tape, and 14. Okay, this is after hemming it. So go ahead and do that, or alternatively you can measure the curve and make sure that you have ×2 of what you have there. Now I went ahead to fold this out so that you can see what we are doing. Okay, so like this is 20 inches, but we'll not be using this part. We'll be using the longer part of this material. Okay, this is where we'll be attaching to the curve. Now I went ahead to go up by 15 inches because that is where I want my pleat to start. Okay, go up by 15 inches. You can do 14, you can do 13 depending on what you want, but for this tutorial I used 15 inches. And I went ahead to notch it. Okay, notch it at the 15 inches point, and I'll go ahead and do the same thing for the front and the back. Okay, the four sides will mark 15 inches and we'll go ahead and make a notch as well. After we are done with that, we'll go ahead and attach the gathers. Okay, attach it to the curve. From that point, from the hemline to the 10 inches point, it will be a straight line. We'll be sewing on a straight line, and from there, whatever we have left, we'll go ahead and gather it. Now on the other end, we'll do the same thing. Go ahead and pin it down from the hem to the 15-inch point, the place we notched rather. The notched part will sew straight and we'll gather what is left of the fabric. I mean, you can make your own bigger, like you can make yours fuller by adding extra fabric, but I didn't want to exceed 4 yards, so that's why my pleats will not be so much. Okay, so go ahead and do that round. Now to demonstrate this on the sewing machine, you can see from the hem I'm going to be making a very straight stitch all the way to the part where we notched. Make sure that everything is aligned properly while you do this. Please, if you're a beginner, do not rush this part, okay? Take it gently. When you get to the notch part, you stop. Now I flipped it over to the other side, and I'm also going to stitch it down from the hem to the part where we notched, okay? So I'm going to stitch it down to the part where we notched, and after that we'll go ahead and make our pleats. Now if you're going to be making a pleat, do it very gently. As you can see, fold it one at a time. Especially for beginners, please fold one at a time, okay? Make sure you're stitching it down with half of an inch. After stitching it down, this is what we have on one side. This is what we have, okay? As you can see, the handkerchief effect has come out. It's very visible now. This is where we pleated. I'll go ahead and flip it over for you to see what it looks like in front. Okay, so this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. This is where we have the gathers, and this is where we made the straight stitch. I'll go ahead and do the other side of camera. So after doing that, this is what we have. Very beautiful, very demure. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and turn on your notifications for more sewing and fashion design tutorials. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.